Okay, enough of that. That didn't seem to be working. All right. Hi. This is the Double Tribble channel. I'm Ron. I live in New Hampshire. I'm surrounded by forests and wild animals and stuff, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do wild animals. I've got baby crows, baby chipmunks, baby squirrels, and a surprise. You don't want to miss this one. Today is June 12th, 2025. June the 12th, 2025. And I'm going to check my sync because I don't know if I'm in sync or not. Let me look here. That actually looks pretty good. God, my last stream, it was all messed up. It was way out of sync, and I changed it, and then I tried to play a video or something, and I came back, and it was like a second off or something. It was all messed up. Yeah, it looks like it's off by a little bit. Let me. Yeah, it looks like the audio is a little bit, maybe 100 milliseconds too fast. So I'm going to slow down the audio here. Oh, if you're a beginner streamer, you want to see how to do this stuff, I can show you how to do this. We want to do a lesson right now. how to get your audio into sync if your audio is out of sync. The reason why my audio is out of sync a lot of times is because I got an old computer here, and it's it's just it can't keep up. The video can't create the video fast enough. So usually the video is lagging. Let me. I'm gonna pop out an ad manager here, and maybe I can see if I have ads. I'm not sure. It usually doesn't tell me if I have ads very well, but okay. So I've got a couple minutes here before I start ads. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna pop this over here. All right, we'll do it this way. All right, ready for? We're gonna do a lesson here. Ready? It might be a lesson for me. Let's see here. Hopefully I'm not doxing anything here. If I am doxing anything, don't tell anybody. Let's see. Stream Manager, OBS, here we go. Okay. Actually, I'll just do the desktop. Let's see what that does. No, that didn't work. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's my OBS, right? And what I do is I come down here and I click this thing, like that. And what that does is that opens up this this other window here, which I'm going to try to bring up now. Advanced audio properties. There we go. See that? I think you can see that, right? And this advanced audio properties here lists my audio inputs. So it's saying that I got a mic input, which is my normal mic that I'm using right now. And it has a second mic, which is, I think, the mic in my webcam. And it has audio capture, which is, if I play a video or something like that, that's what I use my audio from that. So what I put in here a half a second delay because that was just a ballpark guess at what I thought that the video would be lagging. Change this to 600, and then we'll close it, and then I'll test it out here and see if it works. I'll put my mug back up there again. All right, we'll try this here. That was pretty close, wasn't it? Let me try that one more time. There we go. So I got it in sync now. For now. So that's how you do it. If you're a new streamer, you want to know how to do a get your audio in sync on your stream. That's how you do it. You click on that little gear thing where your audio mixer is, your audio meters, those meters are, which brings up advanced properties, and then you just adjust that delay on your mic. All right, I think I had a commercial run. Oh no, wait, is it ad in pro? Oh, it's got an ad in progress right now. Okay, so it's saying I have an ad in progress right now. If you're watching this on the VOD, you're probably not seeing an ad unless you're getting an ad from YouTube or something. But it's saying there's an ad in progress, so I'm gonna let that run before we get in and look at the baby animals. So maybe I'll make that into a little a quick little YouTube thing or something. A how-to on YouTube. I bet I would get people clicking on that. How to adjust when your stream is your stream audio is out of sync on Twitch. How to fix that? I think that would be. I think people would click on that. Maybe. All right. So the ads are almost over here. So today, what we're going to do is I did an IRL. This is an IRL, believe it or not. It's an IRL that's delayed. It's delayed by about 13 hours. There's a 13-hour delay in this video, but it's live. It's a live video that's delayed 13 hours. Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So we've got baby animals. Lots of baby animals here. I've got a picture of me feeding a baby animal. So it's pretty cool. So let me get to that here. Click that. All right. I will need to adjust this a little bit so it all fits on the screen. How's that look? Does that look pretty good? I think I can get a little bit more in there. I don't want it to be too cut off here, because there's a lot of action that's going on in this thing. There are a ton of animals in this video, so I don't want you guys to miss any of them. All right, there we go. All right, so what I'll do is I will play this video, and hopefully you'll get the sound from the video. And that off to the right there, that's my boot. And I go out there, I feed the animals every day just about. Mostly it's for birds, but all the other animals come anyway, so I used to try to stop the squirrels from stealing the bird food, but now I don't care. I just, put it all out there, and whoever gets it, gets it. All right, so I'll just let this run, and maybe I'll narrate it a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to feed this little chipmunk, get him to come up and take that out of my hand. as I'm putting all the food out there for him. There he goes. He took it right out of my hand. That's a baby chipmunk too. That one is that's was just born this spring. He came out probably 2 weeks ago or something, or 3 weeks ago or something. I came out of the ground. I don't know when he came out of his mom. If you want to feed wildlife, you got to make sure you spread the food around like I'm doing there. You don't want to just dump it all in a big pile, because otherwise they'll all fight over it. You know, they all try to go to the same spot and they end up fighting each other. You know, and it just causes problems. So if you put food out there for them, you got to spread it around all over the place. It's a little bit easier for them. Okay, so I'm walking back to the house now. This is like, I don't know, maybe 50, 75 yards away from the house. You can hear me whistling in the background. That's me calling the crows, letting the crows know that the food is out. So they come out pretty quick here. It only takes a few minutes for them to come out. Yeah, this is live IRL, delayed only 14 hours or so. 13 hours. I don't know. Yeah, this is about, I don't know, this is 7 in the morning, something like that. 7:30, something like that. Okay, they're the crows. We had the number of crows that I have in the area here varies quite a bit, over time. And in the winters, like around January or so, they start picking their mates, for the next season. And all the groups kind of get mixed up, The ones that, they get married and they go off to their spouse's group instead, That's how the groups do it. And so all the groups get all mixed up. I've got like a group here, and there's another group, a couple miles, in each direction from here, and they all have their own little territory and stuff. And so a group settled here in my area this winter. There were 4 crows, and it turned out it was two pairs, two pairs of crows, breeding pairs, and so they were both breeding, and they were both successfully, had their nests and had their baby crows. And one of them, the first ones to fledge, they had 2 that made it, 2 eggs that hatched, and the babies made it, and they fledged 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. And it wasn't too long after that, probably less than a week, that the other pair, their babies, fledged, and there were 3 of them in there. So altogether there are 5 new baby crows and 4 adult crows, so there are 9 crows now. So I started with 4 crows at the beginning of spring, and now we got 9, and 5 of them are babies. You can see I'm just trying to kind of sneak it in there. What's weird here is that I put out this a tripod for the crows. For the camera, put the camera on a tripod, a short little tripod, and the adult crows are weary of it. They don't like it. They don't, they're kind of getting used to it now. But I used to hide the camera in a log, so it was really hard for them to see it, But they were still weary of it, so I just put it on a tripod. But the babies, they don't care at all. They don't know any better, right? They don't. They just, everything's new for them, so they don't mind. You see way off in the distance there's some squirrels now. Those are baby squirrels, most of them. I didn't really keep track of when they came out, so I don't know how old they are, but they're all about the same. I think the squirrels come out first, and then the chipmunks, and then the crows were just this last couple weeks. And they'll come forward here now. I mean, they're staying back right now, but they eventually here in a few minutes they'll come right next to the camera. That call there, that sounded like the adult crows. Oh, there's a baby right there. Yeah, those calls in the background were the adults, and those were angry calls. They were angry calls. They were sounded like they were making angry calls about the squirrels being around. They don't like the squirrels too much. The baby crows haven't figured it out yet. They don't know what's what, so they don't get too angry with the squirrels. They try to play with them or whatever. When they get a little closer, I'll show you how to identify a baby crow, because they look just like an adult crow at a distance, right? You can't. If you saw these crows out there, you'd just say, "Oh, there's some crows." You wouldn't even be able to know that they were babies. But there are ways to do it at a distance like this. The best way to identify them is by their behavior, and that's kind of takes experience. You just have to know what a regular crow does. But some of the things that they do, baby crows do behavior-wise, is like they lose their balance more often. And they end up, like they lose their balance and have to flap their wings to get their balance. Do things like that. They just look around at everything, because everything's new to them. So they're looking around at everything, trying to figure it out. Things that normally would not distract an ordinary crow, an adult crow, the babies are distracted by, and they do things like chase the chipmunks. A crow can't really catch a chipmunk. Chipmunks are too fast. Okay, here's a baby crow coming up. Now this one's one of the three, the group of three. That one's a little bit older. And you notice he picked up two peanuts. So he's pretty smart to be able to learn how to do that in just a couple weeks. Oh, we got an ad coming in here, so let me. I'm going to stop this so we don't miss anything. I don't want anybody to miss anything when the ads come, if they do come. I don't even know if they bother playing ads on my. I don't know if they bother playing ads on my channel or not. I don't know. I think I have enough viewers. I'm going to pause anyway, just in case they do play an ad. And I really have no idea. I can't tell if they're doing that or not. Yeah. Click back here. Okay. So we're on an ad break here. Let me show you just what this is. This is the camera that I use. It's a GoPro camera, an old one. Hero 3 Plus, whatever that means. I don't know. And this is a little. Lens cap that I made for it out of a bottle, water bottle cap. I took it off and put some little tape or something in there so it would stay put on my. So I got a lens cover for it. And then I forget where I got this thing. This is like a case that goes over the top of it. And it has a little. I'll show you here. See, it has one of those mounts, for a tripod on it. Normally, there's no hole in the bottom for a tripod, so you got to put it on one of these things, and that way you can get it onto a tripod. So, and I just set this out there. And turn it on and let it rip, and adjust it. There are 3 adjustments on this thing. I kind of have a narrow field of view, or medium, or wide. And I experimented with it. This what I'm showing here on these videos is medium. If I make it wide, I get more action, but you can't see it as well. It's like they're further away or something. And this damn thing is it has so much. It wastes so much space when it's recording. It takes about 12 gigabytes per hour of recording for this thing. So it just takes, and the little card only goes up to 16 gigabytes because this is an older one. So I can only get a little over an hour, of recording, and the battery runs out anyway. So, okay, I just hit the keyboard there. I don't know if I stopped my stream or what I did there. All right, so let's get back to this thing now. I think the commercial's over. So let me start this back up again. All right, baby crows and baby chipmunks. So right in the middle there is a squirrel, baby squirrel, I guess. Okay, did you see how that guy landed there? He kind of fell over a little bit. That's a good indication that that's a baby. Another indication is you can see he still has some of his down feathers. Look at it. Look, see he's got little like white spots all over. That's another indication. And this little chipmunk here is a little baby. They're just smaller, That's how you tell with them. So that's a couple different ways you can tell that they're babies. They have these down feathers, these white down feathers, and then they're trying to chase the chipmunks. There's no way they're going to catch them, but they do it anyway. That's another indication that they're babies. They try to chase things that they don't. That an adult knows that they doesn't bother chasing. Another thing is, if you look at their mouth, you can see right at the corner of their mouth. See, I'm gonna stop this. See, there's a little bit of a reddish or a fleshish part there. Adult crows don't have that. Another thing is, you notice how he's opening his mouth there and making noises. That's begging for food, like a little baby, would do. And that sound that it's making here, you hear that sound? That's not, adult crows don't make that sound. That's a baby. That's a baby crying for food, or like it's, like a baby that would cry, right? That's what it's doing. Now the adults didn't even come down here. I guess they're just letting the babies play here, without. So all 5 of the babies are here. We get 2. It's probably these 2 are probably siblings, and then those 3 back in the background are siblings, I think. We got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Also, their legs look a little longer too, I think. They're a little bit smaller compared to the length of their legs, I think. They're trying to chase the squirrel. See, he just pecked at his tail. He pecked at the tail of that chipmunk. But you see the corner of his mouth here, like this one over here on the left? You look at the corner of his mouth. They only look like that for about a week after they fledge, and then that starts to go away right away. I think this squirrel in the middle, I think, is an adult squirrel, maybe. And the other one's a baby. You see that one, Vegan? Look at that. That's a... That's what they do. He did for, a few weeks in a nest. That's how he got fed, was he opened his mouth and made noises, And even a little bit, once they fledge, then they're walking around on the ground, the adults will feed them the same way, feed them into the mouth when they open their mouth. You can hear the adults in the background there. There's a red squirrel. Do you see that red squirrel on the left there? He's the only one. I named him. I named him Red because he's the only red squirrel around. There he is. Now he's on the right there. See him? That's a red squirrel. And he has quite a history around here. He's been the only red squirrel around here for a year, I think, or so. And about 3 or 4 months ago, there was a red-tailed hawk came through here and was picking off animals around here for a while. And that red squirrel was up in a tree. Look at him. That red squirrel was up in a tree, minding his own business or whatever, just being afraid of, because he knew the hawk was around. And this red-tailed hawk that comes through here is pretty adept hunter. And he perched in a tree also in this forest here, up in the canopy here. And when the little red squirrel wasn't looking, the red squirrel thought he was safe because he was up on a tree, up on a branch or something. And look at them all trying to go after that chipmunk. And the red-tailed hawk swooped down, or just went across and grabbed the red squirrel. And he grabbed him with his talons and then dropped down to the floor here, to the ground, fluttering and going through all the branches and everything, and got to the ground. And that little red squirrel apparently got out somehow, got away from that red-tailed hawk. I saw it happen, but I didn't see the squirrel get away, and I thought maybe the red-tailed hawk, I saw him fly away without anything in his talon, so I knew something happened. I knew that he didn't get the squirrel, but I didn't actually see the squirrel run away, and that squirrel was gone for like 2 weeks. I didn't see him again at all, forever. I mean, at all. For like 2 weeks. And I thought, oh, maybe he's dead, maybe he got injured or whatever, but and then he finally came back, and it didn't seem to be injured or anything. But that was something, being able to survive a red-tailed hawk attack like that was something. These little baby squirrels seem like they're pretty, oops, did you see a flinch there when that one came by? They seem like they're pretty, like they've been, they're learning really fast or something. They're almost acting like adults now, That was an adult there. It made a noise and it flew away, so I don't know what it was going on there. It sounded like an angry noise. They have all different calls. They have calls for. They have a specific call for the fox or something on the ground. They have another call for stuff up in the air. There's a red tail or a red squirrel. The other squirrels are called gray squirrels, and it's this little guy here it's called the red squirrel. But yeah, the crows have all different calls for different stuff. They have, if it's something up in the air, their call is a little bit higher pitched. If it's a hawk, then there's a little bit more tension in the call, and it sounds more urgent or whatever. If it's something on the ground, it's a lower pitch. If it's a predator on the ground, it'll be a lower pitch, and it'll sound more urgent. Quicker calls and stuff. If it's something on the ground that's just an irritant, a competitor or irritant like a squirrel or something, then it will be, it'll be more of an angry sound to it. I don't know how to describe it, but they have all different calls, and they have different signs that they give each other. Then they have some calls where that are just calls just meant to like get calling to find another crow. If you don't know where your buddies are or whatever, you send out a particular call, and then they'll call back and let you know. Or sometimes if they're in a situation where they don't want to call out, maybe they don't want a competitor or a predator or something to know that they're there. Instead of calling, they might fly away from the trees a little bit and fly back in, just to let you know where they are. Let their buddies know where they are. They also can point things out if they want to. If there's something that they're trying to get their buddies to see, and it appears that their buddies can't see it, they will fly towards the thing and point, almost like they're pointing at it with their beak, and fly towards it, and then fly away, and that kind of it's like pointing. It's like sticking your hand out and pointing your finger at what you want them to see. They do that when they're thinking about food or talking about food, or want to tell their buddies that that there's food. They rub their beak on a branch. That means food in crow speak, and most birds do that. Okay, that's that first video. So it's repeating now. All right, let me cue up the other video here. Here, we'll watch me feed that little guy again one more time, just for fun. Here he comes. Let's see. Let's do another one here. All right. So this is a new one. This is a continuation of that. Of the same thing. Oh no! Oh, now why we got this? Let me stop this for a second. I'm stopping this video because I don't understand what it's doing. All right, we got an ad starting in a few seconds anyway, so. All right, so while I'm getting that continuation video going again. There we go. All right, we've got an ad coming up, so. All right. says ad starting soon. I don't know. I don't know if it's playing an ad or not. There's anybody, if you're getting an ad, let me know in chat, or I don't want to pull anybody out of lurk or anything, but I just wish I knew when the ads were playing and when they weren't. So I don't know if you guys are getting an ad now or not. So you're just joining. It's a bunch of baby animals, basically. This is a live stream, but it's delayed by 14 hours. It's got a 14-hour delay on a live stream. No, this is how I do my IRL, because I don't have cell service here. I can't really do. I live in New Hampshire in the United States, and we don't have a lot of infrastructure here, so. The United States is kind of messed up to begin with, and then New Hampshire is even worse. New Hampshire is pretty hostile to anything that's new, So a lot of spots don't have cell service here. So the way I do it is I take my a little GoPro and put it on and that's how I do all my pictures. That's how I do all my IRL. I take it with the GoPro, and then bring it in here, and then just play it on stream. Play the video on stream, and then narrator or whatever. And that's what I call IRL. And I don't know, it works okay, I guess. All right, this one here, yeah, I think this is the one. I don't know. I think we still got an ad for now. All right, let's just wait for this ad to finish up here. All right, so let's flip over. Yeah. All right, so this is the way the GoPro works. It can't continuously record a whole hour worth of stuff. It breaks it up into separate files of about 20 to 30 minutes apiece. So that's why I had to re-queue this up again. So it's basically the same scene, same video and everything. It's just I had to re-queue it up because it breaks it up into separate files. Okay, so here we are. On this one here, we've got a little bit of a surprise, so you probably want to. I'm going to type something into chat here before I start that up. There we go. Let's see what that does. Okay. All right, my chat's working. All right, let me play this again. So that's a little squirrel. I think that's a baby squirrel running by there. That's an adult. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So that squirrel just went over there. Here, I'm gonna back this up. So you got two squirrels here, right? That one's is afraid of something, is running away and climbs up a tree here. This one here is running into the bushes here, but he's still on the ground. Oh, there he goes. Now he's going up in the tree. So they both went up in the tree. And a baby chipmunk. This is all unedited. It really is live. I just put the camera out there and let it run, and this is all real time, squirrels still trying to find stuff there. Is that a crow in the background there? Way back here? What is that back there? Okay, I'm going to stop this. I want to see what that is real quick. Where was that? Let's see if I can find it there again. No, I think it's just a squirrel. Right here, see that? Is that a squirrel? Yeah, I think that's just a squirrel. Well, I should have tried to identify some of those other bird calls that were in the background there. I've got regular birds. We've got a titmouse, a few of them that come, nuthatch, a white-breasted nuthatch, and a red-crested nuthatch, chickadees. There's one bird here that we get quite often that I forget what it is now. I tried to identify it and I couldn't. And there's lots of little sparrows and stuff, and finches, purple finch. And blue jays. I think a blue jay comes and visits here in a little bit on this video. Maybe that was yesterday that they came. This is the red squirrel. Okay, he's running away. Something frightened him there. He ran up that tree there. Oh, then he came back down again. Yeah, that's the one that escaped the red-tailed hawk. The red-tailed hawk caught him, and he escaped. So he's kind of skittish, even though it was a few months ago. He's still very skittish, you know. Chipmunk. That might be an adult, actually. Yeah, I think that's the adult chipmunk. Well, that call right there, that was a North American Jake break. I'm really not that close to the road, but it's just they're so freaking loud. Speed this up or something. Oh, there's the website. That's okay. You can hear some of this crows barely in the background there. They're mobbing something. They're mobbing something back there. That's a chipmunk. Back there. Yeah, those crow calls are not just like ordinary, calls. They're angry or upset or whatever. There's something going on. Okay, that's a normal call. You can hear that in the background. It's that sounds like an all clear sound almost. That's a. Whoop! There you go. There's a surprise. That's who they were yelling at. You see that? He was. Did you see who was? I'm gonna back that up. You can look what he was doing there. Right here, you can see a shadow. I've got. Let me explain the setup here. Up above here, I've got a rope running across here, and I've got bird feeders hanging from the rope, and the squirrels get up on there in the bird feeders on that rope. And if you look at the shadow here, there's a squirrel up there right now in one of those bird feeders. And when this fox comes in here, look at the shadow. See that? That's a squirrel messing with a bird feeder. He saw the fox and he's trying to get away, struggling, and the fox is looking up there hoping that he's going to fall, Look at that. Look at that. The way that guy. The fox looks. Let's see here. Look at that. See that? It's like he's looking up there, just hoping that squirrel's gonna fall. Look at that. So he's been gone for a while. This fox. He was here, yeah, a couple weeks ago or whatever. I've got some pictures of him that I had done before. I don't know if I showed those or not. But what happens is I go out there and I throw the peanuts out there, and then he comes and eats the peanuts, and scares away everybody else. So he's kind of a menace, He just doesn't. And then so when he does that, then I run out there and try to scare him away. And a couple weeks ago, I guess I was successful enough to get him to go away for a while, and he's been gone for a couple weeks. But now I guess he's back. So I'm say he. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but they're back. Unfortunately. So he was hoping that squirrel was gonna fall, and he would get him. He's going to settle for peanuts, I guess. Whatever peanuts he can find. Did you see him look at the camera there? Look at this. He looked. Did you see that? He looked at the camera and then ran away. Look at that. See, he's looking at the camera there, and it scares him. He knows that that's something that's, you know. I think they put out like traps and stuff, or these little. I don't know what they are. They're poison things. You know, they put them out, and then when the fox tries to go after him, it sprays poison at him. So I think they know about that. They know not to avoid things that look like they're man-made. And there he is right there. He's walking by, sniffing around, and then he looks and he sees the camera, and he runs away right away. Look at this. See that? I'll do it one more time. You can see it. He sees the camera, and then he takes off. he's afraid of it. They don't really look. They use their sense of smell more than their sight. You know. I had one that one actually when he was here a couple weeks ago. Whoa, 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 whoa! Run, little squirrel, run! Oh my goodness! Oh no! Oh, we went after that squirrel. Oh my goodness! There he is back in the background there. See him? Okay, he doesn't have a squirrel, so the squirrel got away. Thank goodness. Oh boy. So anyway, so he, I went up in the forest here. He was around, and I went up there and scared him away. And I was like downwind from him, so he couldn't smell that I was there. And I hid behind a tree and just watched him. And he thought I was gone, and he ended up just, he was tired or whatever. He just curled up and lied down and took a nap right there while I was there. And at that point, I wanted to discourage him from being around, so I waited until he thought he was safe, and then I ran after him again. So he would think that he wouldn't be safe around here. I'm gonna pause this because we got an ad. I think it's either playing now or it's gonna play or whatever. So I'm gonna pause this for a little bit. Here, I'll play back that part where he's running after the squirrel. Okay, there's a little chipmunk. Where was that? Okay, there he is getting that. And then there, okay. So the squirrel came down from the tree and was walking over there, and he went after him. See that? Not very nice. Yeah, there it is. That's the squirrel that he was after. Was right there. What it was is that was that squirrel that was up on the bird feeder, and a squirrel thought it was safe, so the squirrel came down on the ground, and then the fox was waiting for him and went after him. Yeah, look at that. That fox is just so. See that? And there he goes after him. But the squirrel got away, so that's good. Alright, so ads are almost over here. Now, that squirrel that was up there, I think was an adult squirrel. I don't think that was the baby squirrels. I don't know how the baby squirrels figure out to get away from the fox, you know. I guess not all of them do, right? I guess that's how they, whatever they, if they have the right instincts, then they survive and pass it along. You know, how that works, right? So I guess a lot of it is just instinct. They just know, you know, stay away from foxes. A fox looks very much like a gray squirrel, like a giant gray squirrel, though. When you look at it, really, doesn't it? I mean, it's the same kind of thing. I guess it's just called a gray fox. I don't know, North American gray fox. I don't know what you call them. We just call them gray fox. Right, gray fox and red fox. They're two different foxes around here. I think those are the only ones. He's pretty healthy, though. You look at his coat and everything. He doesn't have any mange or anything, or you know, bald spots or anything like that. He's pretty healthy. I don't know what he's eating there, because there can't be that many peanuts left for him. Maybe he's finding some more. I don't know. He could be eating slugs. We have a lot of slugs around here. Um, there's some really big ones too. So maybe that's what he's eating. I don't know what he's. See, look at his coat and everything. He's really healthy. Dang, huge tail too. Looks like he still has his winter tail. They get a big fluffy tail for the winter. That helps them stay warm. But then in the summer, that sheds and it gets a lot smaller. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up. I don't hear any sound, any calls or anything. And I don't see any activity anywhere. So I'll put this on double speed here. If I hear any calls or anything, I'll play them back. I think I heard a call there. No, it's just a crow. That call that he's doing there is a call to try to get attention from the other crows, but it's not like just an ordinary. It's more an urgency to it, in this call. For whatever reason, he wants them to look, at whatever is going on at the moment. That's what that call means. Okay, I'm double speeding here. I heard something. Yeah, that was a squirrel. That was a squirrel alarm call, and it was that was red. That was red. The red-tailed squirrel making an alarm call. real quick. He must have saw that fox again or something. And he's up in the tree there somewhere making that little shriek sound, you know. Yeah, there it is. That's who he saw. The fox went away and then it came back. That's why Red made that call. He saw him again. Okay, that was the gray squirrel making the sound. The same, you know, alarm call. So basically, this fox here has scared off everybody else, and the squirrels are all up in the trees, and the birds flew away, and you know, and now he's just trying to get whatever he can find. He almost got that squirrel, but the squirrel got away. I can't believe he's finding peanuts still, because there were a ton of animals out there eating those peanuts. He's got to be eating like little insects or slugs or something. I don't know what he's eating there. They have an incredible sense of smell, so they, you know, and that's what he goes on mostly. They don't go by sight as much; they go by smell. They have pretty good eyesight too, you know, for hunting. I don't know if he's going to come back or not. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna run this at double speed here. This is a. It's IRL, but it's delayed. It's a 14-hour delay on the IRL. So I don't hear any more animal calls there. I got an ad in about 1 minute here. Oh, there he is again. Okay, let's see what he's doing here. Okay, I'm gonna stop this because we've got an ad coming up here. But look at how good a shape he's in. You know, look at that coat and everything. He still has his winter tail, that huge winter tail to keep him warm. By the end of the summer, that'll be just a tiny little tail. You know, all that will be, he'll shed all that extra hair. You know. But yeah, he's in really good shape here. Snowy City says it still lights out. Hi, Snowy City. How are you? Can you hear me? Oh, it says, oh, okay. Makes sense then. Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Oh, okay. So can you see the fox on the screen? Yes. Oh, okay. So I don't know. It's my machine is telling me that it's playing an ad right now. So I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't actually play the ad if you need so many viewers or something. I only it shows you that I only have 2 viewers, so maybe they don't bother with an ad unless you have so many viewers or something. So what we're doing here is I was this is I call it IRL. I can't do IRL because I don't have cell service here. So what I do is I take pictures with um, my little GoPro here. This thing here. I just set it on a tripod and set it out in my backyard there up at the edge of the forest. And I put peanuts out there, and then all the animals come by and eat the peanuts. And this one here at the very beginning of this, I got a little chipmunk to eat a peanut right out of my hand on this. And then at one point here, there was a squirrel up above this, like this scene right here. Up above is where I have bird feeders hanging from a rope, and there was a squirrel getting into that bird feeder, and this fox come running in, looking up like he wanted the squirrel to fall down so he could catch him. And then the fox went off to the left, off to the right here somewhere, and hid somewhere. And then that squirrel came down this branch right here from the bird feeders up here. He came down. He thought it was safe, and he came down here and got on the ground. And then this fox come running after him and almost got him. The fox almost got him, but he didn't. So the squirrel got away. So it was a good ending, at least for the squirrel. And the fox, I don't know what he's eating here. I think he likes to eat the peanuts, but I can't believe there are that many peanuts out there. So he must be eating insects or grubs or I don't know slugs or I don't know. I don't know what he's eating out there. So okay, I think everybody's. I think we're clear on the ads now. I think. I'm not sure. All right, so I'm going to play this again. So yeah, up above here, way up here. Can you see that? Yeah, is where the squirrel was. So and then when the squirrel thought it was clear, he came down this branch here and got on the ground. And then the squirrel the fox went after him and almost got him. So. And all the animals are gone now. There were a ton of animals out here earlier. I mean, there were 5 baby crows and 3 or 4 baby chipmunks and 3 or 4 baby gray squirrels. And there was a red squirrel, an adult red squirrel. Yeah, a lot of different critters out here earlier. It's fun watching the baby animals because they're learning everything, and they do really funny, stupid things, because they're learning. They go chasing the baby crows will go chasing after the chipmunks, and the chipmunks, of course, are way too fast for the crows to even come close to catching them. But the baby crows don't know that, so they chase them anyway. It's just funny. I don't know what this fox keeps looking. Oh, you know, my neighbor's house is out that way, so maybe my neighbor came out and he's looking at him. That look that he was giving there was a like a caution look, or a not like he's looking for a predator to chase. Oops, there it is. Okay, that's the end of my video there. Okay, I've got one more video here. Oh, here it is. This is the beginning of the video. Let me go on to the next video here. There we go. Okay. All right. So this is the last one. This is the last 3 minutes of this videos that I took this morning. Okay, this is not, something is not right here. Okay, I see what the problem is. There we go. All right. Okay, this is a continuation then. Sorry, I was playing. Huge tail on the squirrel. Yeah, the squirrels have big tails too. That helps them get away from predators, you know. That's probably how that squirrel got away, you know. He had the big tail there, and the fox went and grabbed it and got nothing but fur, you know. Earlier, we had the chipmunks got, their tails aren't that big, but they got furry tails too. And earlier, one of the crows was pecking at the tail of the chipmunk. So I think it serves the same purpose, you know. When the prey animals have big tails like that, it's to help avoid predators, you know. And for balance and everything too, a lot of different reasons. And it helps keep them warm and all that, you know, a lot of different reasons. I don't know what he's eating there. Maybe it's insects on those plants or something, or I'm not really sure what it is. It's probably it must be insects. But there was something got his attention there. Also, next time I'm out there, I'm gonna look at those ferns and stuff and all those plants and see if I can see what the heck he's eating there. It might be that he's just licking the dew off of them. You know, this is like 7 in the morning or something, 7:30 or whatever, 8 o'clock. So they could just still be wet from dew, and he's just licking that off. That could be something he's doing too. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's the end of that one. All right. Let's see if I can find another one here. I did one yesterday. Let's see here. I did one yesterday where I took pictures in my garden of the pollinators, all the pollinators in my garden. Let's see here. That's not it. Yeah, here we go. All right. Let's see if I can bring this up here. There we go. All right. So, yeah, this is my garden. It's kind of, on this end I've got some kale, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff here that's just kind of, I'm doing experiments here. But basically this is my kale from last year. If you saw some of my winter IRL streams, these were covered up. This kale was really short here, and it was just like regular kale, right? And it was covered up with plastic, and that was to keep it alive as long as possible and to keep it from getting killed off by the cold weather. And in this spring I took the plastic off, and it was still alive and it was still going, but it's a biennial, so it goes to seed the second year, it's the second season. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm letting these all this kale go to seed, all these yellow flowers or this kale. And so I let them go, and then I get a ton of pollinators here. There's a butterfly right there. See that butterfly? You get butterflies and bees. There's a bumblebee. See the bumblebee off to the side there? I don't know if you can see that. Here's a butterfly. There's a bumblebee. There's another species of bee that's flying around here. You might be able to see. But I get a ton of pollinators, so they do, you know, they pollinate all these kale flowers, and then it'll make little pods, and I'll get just a whole ton of kale seeds from all these plants here, these kale plants, and then I'll be able to plant them next spring, and I'll get a bunch of kale plants then. Okay, that's it for that one. Let's see. Okay. Oh, that's the butterfly again. Now this is chives. These are chives here. And they're supposed to attract something, or I forget what it is. They're supposed to help your garden somehow. I forget what it is. They attract something or repel something. I forget what it is now. It's supposed to be helpful though. So it's just a little butterfly. You call it swallowtail? Is that a swallowtail? I forget what it's called. No, that's not a swallowtail. I don't know what that is. A monarch? Is that what it is? And that looks like just a regular, like a honeybee up there, maybe, or is that, there's that bumblebee again. Yeah, that's a bumblebee. Okay, so that's that one. Now this one, I think I'm doing this one at a different yeah, this is a different rate. Let's see. Yeah, this is 120 frames per second, this one. So I wanted to see if I could get good pictures of that bumblebee at a high frame rate. Yeah, it's not playing, is it? Alright, let me try this again here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think you can see that, right? There it is, okay. Alright, so this is the bumblebee at 120 frames per second. But I don't know if this little computer can play back 120 frames per second while I'm streaming, so I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna look. There he goes. You can hear one of my crows in the background. I could probably look that up and figure out exactly what species that was, that little butterfly. I mean, that little bumblebee. Right, let me get rid of that. So we can bring up another one here. Alright, this is just a second here. We'll get this. We'll get it figured out. There we go. Okay. I don't know what this is. This is just more pollinators again. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. That's a different bee. See that? That's like a honeybee or some other species of bee. Probably just a honeybee of some sort. Okay. What else okay, I guess that's it. Now I might have some, let's see here. I might have something from the other day. See that? Yeah, that's working. What was this? Oh, this was just me. Yeah, so this was on the 11th, yesterday. This is yesterday morning. All right, so I've already put a bunch of peanuts out there, and I filled up the bird feed. You can see the bird feeder up at the top there. There's a rope here that has a few bird feeders hanging from it. I'm just going to fast forward this until we get some wildlife in here. You see this weird tint, this weird color that this is right here? It's like an orangish, yellowish color instead of green on these plants. That's from the Canadian wildfires. the sun is being filtered through the smoke of those wildflowers, and it's making everything orange. And in real life, that's what I mean. It looks orange out there. It's getting a little bit better, but it was, I had to wear my N95 when I went outside, and sometimes because it was just so much smoke. All right, there's a bird. There's a bird up there that looks like a titmouse, maybe. And I saw a crow back here, kind of sneaking in. There's another crow right there. See him? I'm going to fast forward this until we get some more wildlife here. There was a shadow of a crow that just went by. Okay, that's an adult. I'm gonna play that back again. That call. Here, I'm gonna point these out because these are interesting calls that they're making. Okay, that call right there. That's a angry call, an angry call. And that little did you hear that little that he did a while ago, a moment ago? That's a crow, and there's one particular crow that knows how to make that sound. And I think he got that sound from a woodpecker, because that's what it kind of sounds like almost. It sounds like a woodpecker sound. I'm going to fast forward this again until we get more action here. Okay, that may have been a baby crow sound. No, that's an adult. That's an adult. That's an angry noise. Yeah, that's all angry. I'm getting these sounds a little bit behind, so I'm reacting about 4 or 5 seconds after the call. So that's what when you hear me referring to the calls, it's the calls that were made about 4 or 5 seconds ago, because I'm on an audio delay here. But basically, that crow that you're hearing in the background there is making angry noises. He's angry at probably a squirrel or something that's on the ground. Okay, so there's a crow, and trying to figure out if that's a baby or an adult. I can't tell. I don't know what that is falling down. I don't think that's rain. I think that's something else. I don't know what that is. Okay, yeah, I don't think this one's isn't as exciting as the one I played earlier. There's a titmouse up there, I think. Maybe this little crow will come down and get a little closer here. There's a squirrel way back there. Okay, here we go. They're coming in a little closer here. Yeah, I don't think I got that much on this one actually. I'll just scrub through this really quick here and see. Oops, there was something. That's a little chipmunk. There, that was a titmouse right there. Back that up. Right over here he lands. Yeah. Yeah, there's not that much on this one. The other one had a whole bunch of action on it. It's funny because I put the peanuts out there. Oops, got another one here. Yeah, I put the peanuts out there, but they didn't come after them. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's see if we can find something on this one. Oh, there's the crow, okay. Let's see if that's a baby crow or if that's a... That one's acting like an adult crow. A squirrel. Chipmunk, a couple squirrels, a chipmunk, 3 squirrels, 4 squirrels. There's one over here too. A few chipmunks. So most of these are babies. These chipmunks and these squirrels are babies. I think that these two right over here, let me back that up. The first one is an adult, I think, and then the one following is the baby. I think. And here you can see a squirrel getting into the bird feeder up here. don't think there's that much more on this one. Let's quickly go through it here. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, there we go. There's a blue jay. That's definitely going to see one of those yet. Down here in the bottom. During the winter, I had a huge flock of these guys here. You know, dozens of them. They're almost as smart as the crows. They're pretty much. They're not as relatable to us as crows are, but in terms of intelligence and the way they organize and talk to each other and everything, they can do all that stuff, you know, just like the crows can. They're just a little bit. They're harder for humans to understand, you know. But they understand each other just fine. You know, they're real smart. It's unusual to see one all by himself like that, though. You know. I don't know what he's eating there. He's probably looking for worms or something. Or he could be eating the seeds that the chipmunk or that the squirrel is knocking down from the bird feeder. That could be it too. See the squirrel up here? He jumped into this bird feeder here and it just made a big mess and knocked a bunch of the seeds out. So I think that's what they're doing is they're getting the seeds that guy knocked out. Did you see that? That little chipmunk scared the blue jay. I'm gonna back that up again. You want to watch this? Watch when see that. This chipmunk snuck up on a blue jay and flew up. Yeah, that crow that you hear in the background, I think that call there sounds like he's trying to get the attention of another crow. And it's like the crows already know where they are and everything. It's not like he's trying to find the other crow, but he's trying to get the attention of the crow for some reason to tell him something or to go somewhere or something. I think that's what that call was. Okay, I guess that's it on that one. All right then. I might have a few more here, but I don't think there are any more interesting ones. I'd have to just. I've got like several days of this same kind of stuff. The best one I played that at the beginning of the stream. So all right, it's almost been 2 hours. So that was the wildlife, baby crows and baby chipmunks and a fox and we almost saw Wild Kingdom get fox killing a squirrel there almost. So I'm glad that didn't happen on stream. That would have been nice. So that was kind of exciting. All right, guess that's it. So let me type in my thing here. Yeah, make sure you follow me and all that. I'm trying to get 1,000 followers now, and I'm almost there. I only have 933 to go. So, everybody, give me a follow. Okay, follow me on Twitch and on YouTube and all that. Next stream, let's see. Next stream, maybe I'll do something more about cognition and stuff like that. Talk about science and how the brain works, something about consciousness. I think we'll see. All right, I guess that's it. Everybody, take care. See you later.